What's going on, guys? Today we're taking a look at a game that we talked about one morning in Newswave, and it looked pretty cool, and I want to check it out. They sent over an early copy of it, so I could, and this is called, as you can see here on the Switch dashboard, Mechstermination Force, and it's $11.99. It's out on the eShop today, so you can check it out if you like what you see here. Basically, I'm going to kind of talk you through some of my impressions, show you some of the gameplay, and try to help you figure out if this is a game you would like to pick up and try out for yourself. Now, this is done by Horrorberg Productions, and they, of course, did Gunman Clive as well. So if you are familiar with them and some of their work, you may know that they do some pretty quality stuff. So when I went into Mechstermination Force, I was pretty excited to see what they had come up with here because the premise and the idea sounded really cool. So we're gonna jump in here. I know some of you guys like to see the icon that'll show up on your Switch home screen. So there you go, and let's go ahead and jump into it. So this is the screen you'll see when you first start it up. You have like a home base essentially. You can shop for items or upgrades, and it does have, as you see at the top right, press that'd be A to join, or I guess that's right on the Joy-Con controller. It does have co-op play, so you and a friend can play through this. And the best way I can describe this game is Contra mixed with Shadow of the Colossus. That is like the best thing I can give you. It is a boss rush game. There are no real run and gun levels where there are multiple small enemies or anything. It is all centered around a single boss when you go into a stage, and that's actually pretty cool because they take the bosses and they essentially turn each boss into like its own stage, basically. So the bosses have multiple phases to them. They're all very, very unique. For example, there was a boss I did pretty recently where the entire level is this boss climbing like a skyscraper, two skyscrapers, and your job is to fight it while you guys are in midair, and you can climb all over it and everything. So it does have that mechanic where there is climbing and all of that, which is kind of neat. So actually, if I go up here, I have a double jump now as well. You can climb by pressing R, and you actually will use that, again, like Shadow of the Colossus, for different bosses. There's actually a way you can check out some of the music and everything. So we'll do a few of these bosses. I won't show you all of them, obviously, because some of them are pretty cool, and I'm still working through the game myself. I can actually check see how many bosses I've fought at this point. But you'll also get abilities and everything, like I have a double jump. I have the ability to climb, which is something you get as you go through, and then you have several different weapon types that you buy as you go through. There's a shop down here that you will visit. They'll put different items in as you play through. You also upgrade your health here, so it's cost me another $30,000 to upgrade my my health. They have spread shots and wave beams, and these two are different weapon upgrades as you go. These are temporary hearts, so you can take temporary hearts into battle if you can't afford full health upgrades, and they'll disappear after you leave the battle and everything. So let's actually go up here. There's a machine that'll allow us to let me see. There we go. To replay some of the old missions. So I've done 8 different bosses so far. And you get different ratings as you go through. Some of them are pretty hard. That's the idea, but they're hard to a degree. I think there are some issues with the game, but we can kind of talk through those as we fight this first boss. It's kind of like a tank boss, sort of, right? So we're gonna take our shots at it. You have a button where you can crouch down, and that'll allow you to shoot. I think one of the biggest things for me in this game, I think it would have worked better as a twin stick shooter. And the reason I say that is because, well, the right stick isn't really used. I know that, of course, it is using the ability for single Joy-Con play and everything, but the option would have been nice. Like, there's a lot of aiming that you do at different things, like up in the air. For example, that yellow spot is something I actually have to hit to end this this level. So I'm gonna keep shooting his little foot here, or his big foot, his leg, and that'll let me smash that red button there, basically the red core. Use a bat to hit those, and that's essentially what your goal is to do, is to uncover those and then hit them. So like in Shadow of the Colossus, there was always a spot you would go to and stab. That's basically what that is. And it's all 2D. It looks really nice visually. It has a good performance, unless the boss explodes, as you saw there. It targets 60 frames per second, 1080p on your TV or screen or monitor, and then it gives you a native 720p in handheld mode, 60 frames across the board, and very minimal hitching. Like I said, the only time I really see hitching in this game is when a boss explodes. That's about it. You do get money as you play through and you collect it, and you can use it then to buy things. You don't lose your money if you continue to die against a boss, which is good because you will make progress just going in to fight a boss. So if there is a very difficult boss that you're fighting and you're really struggling against them, well, you will at least get money, which will then let you do things like upgrade your health, get new guns that are technically more powerful and can help with that. So let's actually jump in here and we'll fight this guy, and I'll try to do that while I'm talking because he is a step up in difficulty from what we just fought. And I actually have a couple of different, let me jump up here because I can actually go right after him. We have a couple different guns. I'm using a laser right now, which is nice for long distance, and it also bounces, which is pretty cool as you see there. And it's good to take out those pellets. I did not jump up there. It's good to take out those pellets that you saw kind of come up, those yellow ones, as that will actually kind of wipe them out really easily. Since you don't really need a lot of damage to take them out, it'll actually work really well for that. So now we can jump up, up, and up, and we can run up here and hit his little red core again. Boom. This is one of the bosses that does a very good job, I would say, of kind of displaying the different stages that a boss has. So we're about to take this out, right? But then he turns into an alligator, and you have to start running away from him. So you can kind of see, I guess, some of the differences when it comes to kind of the levels of the boss here. And some of them have, like, an obscene amount. Like, there was one I was doing, and I thought I was done. And I had done, like, 3 phases, and then there was a whole nother phase. So it's a little frustrating at times, I will admit that, where you're like, oh, come on, how many phases does this boss have? But I think some are just happen to be longer than others when it comes to boss fights. But you know what? I have a pretty good time with them, even the frustrating ones, because they do have that sense of accomplishment. This is not designed to be like an easy game or anything, and I get that. We just did, obviously, Sekiro, Cuphead. So this is actually, yeah, you know what? This is where I put this on the level of like a Cuphead in terms of, maybe a little easier. It's probably a little easier than Cuphead. But I think it's a good way to kind of get started and kind of get into that boss rush mode or that feeling leading into something like a Cuphead for someone who's never played it before. So we'll smack that. There we go. Oh, that's right. I got to run up here and hit the one on his back too. So you can kind of see like all the different things I have to do here to beat him. There we go. And then we got to do it again. And I liked this. I guess this boss is pretty cool. If you fall, it'll just kind of start you back up top, take away one of your hearts. So falling isn't like automatic death or anything. Although I guess it was the same way in Cuphead. Oh. There we go. We're good. But like this was a cool boss. It caught me off guard when he started, obviously, when he turned into an alligator and started munching on the kind of the brick bridge here. We're almost done too, by the way. When this, I think I just have to hit it one more time, I think. And it's over. You're timed, of course. You get a score based on how much time, damage, and all of that you went through. There we go. This is a good game for a D-pad, but I found actually for this that a joystick works really well. So if you have like the Joy-Con controllers that you're using, you're not really missing out on not having a D-pad for this game in particular. I think it's because the gun itself has so many directions you can fire in that it's just better for using a joystick. Whoa, that hurt me. There we go. Oh, I'm on top of him. Nice. So we should hit that. Boom. And that'll actually end the alligator boss. And get Mechsterminated, and I'll get some points and money and everything for it. Clear time 3 minutes, and I'm back here now. So I'm liking what I'm seeing. I have a few issues. One, the jumping feels floaty, I think. Something about the jumping feels weird. At first, I thought there was like a delay to it, but I think there's just a float to it, and I'm not really sure what it is. For some reason, it just doesn't quite feel right. I don't know if it's because it's hard to short hop. Like, you can short hop if you tap it, but they don't really have a good one, maybe. So sometimes you'll feel like you're in the air, and there's not much you can do to stop yourself from getting hit. There's also no roll or block or anything like that I've come across yet. That's something I would have liked to have seen, because at times I feel like there's not much I can do, and I'm just gonna get hit. Like there's just nothing you can do about it, which is, again, I think a roll would have gone a long way for this, and the fact that you get these abilities. So I have this double jump, right? And I have a climb even like this, but you can't use them in boss fights before you attain those abilities. So, for example, the double jump, I was actually trying to do that at times in that boss fight we just did, but it doesn't work because I got the double jump after that boss fight, if that makes sense. I think the thing I would have liked to have seen is the ability to take all of the extra feats and abilities that you get and then be able to go back to those first bosses and just destroy them because you're more powerful, you have more health, and you have more abilities. You can use all the guns, and some of the guns obviously are stronger than others, like this laser gun, obviously bounces all over the place, helps in some bosses that you have to fight, but it doesn't work there. Like, there could have been so many cool things they could have done where you see places you can climb on in the beginning, right? Like, maybe the first second boss has this line where you can climb up, but you can never use it, and then you get the ability to climb, and then you can go up there and shortcut some of the boss. Like, there are some cool things they could have done, and it feels like they came up a bit short with that. But for $12, a boss rush like this, where some of the bosses get extremely creative, like some of them I don't want to completely spoil because some of them are really, really cool. I think it's worth the $12. I think it's a pretty cool take on a boss rush, and yeah, it's basically Contra mixed with Shadow of the Colossus, and you have same screen co-op, which is kind of neat too. Single Joy-Con play and everything. They have it set up technically for that. So let me know what you guys think about this down below. It's out today. Mechstermination Force. You can pick it up. And again, twin stick shooter option. If I could use this right stick on my Pro Controller rather than have to hold a button and kind of aim around with the left stick, or hold R to kind of grab on and move around, that'd be so much better. Like, running and using the right stick would feel, I think, just a lot better. But let me know what you guys think down below. Make sure you like the video if you liked it, dislike if not. I'll see you guys in the next video.